Hello, Math 2 students. So today we're going to be going over absolute value. So absolute value is shown by these little bars around either an equation, an expression, number, and basically what those bars represent is the distance away from zero. Distance is always positive or zero. It could never be negative. So what that means is that if you take the absolute value of a positive number, you get a positive number out, right? If you think about the number 5, that is 5 units away from 0. But if you take the absolute value of a negative number, you get a positive number out. If you think of negative 4, that is just 4 units away from 0. So essentially with absolute value equations, we have to account for both possibilities, that the inside is positive and that the inside is negative. So we'll go ahead and start this first one here. So what this is telling us is that what is inside here, the absolute value of it is equal to 20. So what that means really is that we could either have the absolute value of 20 or the absolute value of negative 20. Both of those are equal to 20, okay? So what we do is we take the inside, which is b minus 9, and we're going to account for both of those scenarios. Let's say our inside, which is b minus 9, is equal to 20, but then let's also make it equal to negative 20. We add 9, we get 29 as an answer, and then we add 9, we get negative 11. Okay, so a lot of the times, not all the time, but a lot of the times with absolute values, you're going to get 2 solutions. All right, let's try this next one. So what they're telling us is that the absolute value of 6a is equal to 18. So that means that what's on the inside of this absolute value, 6a, can be equal to positive 18 or negative 18. We divide by 6, we get an a value of 3, or we get an a value of negative 3. All right, same thing here, right? We have x divided by 2. Again, we could end up with a positive 9 or a negative 9. So we're going to say x over 2 equals 9. X over 2 equals negative 9. And then we solve this by multiplying both sides by 2. We get x is 18. Multiply, we'll do this in a different color because we're kind of scrunched here, sorry. Multiply both sides by 2. We get that x is negative 18. So those are our 2 solutions there. All right, next one. So again, what's on the inside here can either be equal to positive 10 or negative 10. So we're going to say 10b equals 10. 10b equals negative 10. We end up with b is 1 and b is negative 1. All right. Same deal here, okay? We're going to say 10y is equal to 60. 10y is equal to negative 60. So we get that y is 6 and y is negative 6. All right. Let's try this next one. So again, what's on the inside here can either equal positive 1 or negative 1. So we're going to say y plus 15 equals 1. Y plus 15 equals negative 1. You always negate the thing that's on the outside like that. So you do minus 15. Minus 15, we get a value of negative 14. Minus 15, and we get negative 16. I don't know why that looks like a plus. Oops. All right, beautiful. Next one, same deal. What's on the inside can either equal a positive 42 or a negative 42. So we're going to say minus 4a plus 10 equals 42. Minus 4a plus 10 equals negative 42. So we'll subtract 10. We get negative 4a equals 32. Divided by negative 4, we get negative 8. We subtract 10. Minus 4a equals negative 52 divided by negative 4. Let's see, we get A is 52 over 4, which we definitely can simplify. What would that be? 25. So 26 over 2. Oh, wow, that actually does work out nicely. That's actually shocking. If I do 52 divided by 4, it's actually just a nice number, 13. Cool beans. So 13. All right, next one. Set the inside equal to positive 21 and negative 21. So we're going to say 5 minus 4b equals 21. 5 minus 4b equals negative 21. Minus 5. Minus 5, we get negative 4b equals 16. Divided by negative 4. And we get that b is negative 4. Then here, we have to subtract 5. We get negative 4b equals negative 26. Divided by negative 4, we get that b is 13 over 2. All right. So now, we're going to get into slightly more challenging ones, but it's totally doable. Now, this problem is different than what we've been doing because there's other stuff around the absolute value, right? If we look here, we've got this pesky plus 6 on the outside. Now, what you have to do with these is you have to get the thing that is being, or the absolute value, essentially, by itself. So if I'm trying to get this thing that's highlighted by itself, I need to get rid of the 6. So I end up with absolute value of 4x plus 10 equals 5. All right. Now this problem looks like what we've been doing. Okay, you can split it into 2. We'll say 4x plus 10 equals 5. 4x plus 10 equals negative 5. Minus 10. 4x equals negative 5. Divided by 4, and we get negative 5/4. Minus 10 minus 10, 4x equals negative 15. We get that x is negative 15/4, which we cannot simplify. All right. So now, let's take a look at this one. Again, we have to get this thing by itself. Okay? So if you have a hard time thinking about what you need to do first, imagine that this absolute value is just your variable, right? If I gave you like negative 3a minus 5 equals negative 11. This a is in the exact same spot as this absolute value, okay? Looking at this, right, you would add 5, divide by negative 3, and that's exactly what we're going to do, okay? We're going to add 5. We get negative 3, absolute value of 8 minus x equals negative 6. Then we divide by negative 3. We get that the absolute value of 8 minus x equals 2. So we can, of course, do 8 minus x equals positive 2. 8 minus x equals negative 2. You cannot split it into 2 like this until this guy is all by himself. Okay? So look at all the steps we had to do to get him by himself. Keep that in mind. Then we just solve from there. Minus 8 minus 8. We get negative x equals negative 6. So x is 6. Minus 8 minus 8. Negative x equals negative 10. X equals 10. All right. Next one. Again, we have got to work to get this guy by himself. All right. So again, if you're struggling with what step's going to be the first step, imagine that that absolute value is just a variable. If I said minus a minus 3 equals negative 10, looking at that, you should hopefully know that you would add 3 to both sides, divide by negative 1. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to add 3. We get negative 5 minus x equals negative 7. Divide by negative 1, we get that the absolute value of 5 minus x equals 7. Now that this absolute value is by itself, we can split it into 2. So we're going to say 5 minus x equals 7. 5 minus x equals negative 7. Okay? Minus 5 minus 5, negative x equals 2. So we end up with x equals negative 2. Minus 5 minus 5, negative x equals negative 12. X equals 12. All right, last one here. Again, we have to work to get this guy by himself. So all we need to do is add 8 to both sides. We get the absolute value of 4x minus 2 equals positive 8. And we can split this into 2. We're going to say 4x minus 2 equals 8. 4x minus 2 equals negative 8. We're going to add 2. 4x equals 10. Divide by 4. And we get that x equals 5 halves. Then we subtract 2. No, we add 2. Oops-a-daisy. And we get 4x equals negative 6. Divide by 4, and we get that x is negative 3 halves. All right, that was a whirlwind.